Exactly. Let's think of a bunch of Russian merchandise leaving St. Petersburg or Moscow, then traveling by road or railway to Astrakhan, the Russian port in the Caspian. Then they cross the Caspian by ship. They can go anywhere. They can go to Azerbaijan, for instance, then Caucasus, and then even to Europe via Turkey, for instance. But mostly they will cross the Caspian south to Iran. It's a multimodal, as they call it, trade corridor. And then once again, railway or road all the way to southern Iran, to the part of Iran that borders the Gulf of Oman, near the Persian Gulf. And then by ship all the way to the Arabian Sea, and then the Indian Ocean to India. So we can have Moscow and St. Petersburg, Astrakhan, the port of Bandar Abbas in southern Iran, or the port of Chabahar, for instance, and Mumbai in India as the main nodes, back and forth, multimodal, roadways, railways, the sea navigation. The Caspian is a mainland sea, of course, and sea travel. This will bypass the Suez Canal in terms of time of travel and costs. It's absolutely essential for everyone involved and everyone around it as well. For the Indians, it's a matter of national security because this is the Indian way, which is something that they had been discussing and investing somewhat on and off for years. How can we have our Indian Silk Road? The best solution that they found was Mumbai, Chabahar in Iran, and then Chabahar via road and railway to Afghanistan and then Central Asia. So this will be the Indian Silk Road from India across the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, via Iran. The relations between India and Iran are very, very close historically as well. And then through Afghanistan, considering that Afghanistan now is free of U.S. occupation, and then all the way to Central Asia, the Central Asian neighbors of Afghanistan. The problem is the Indians, once again, the Indians is a very complicated story. They invest and the money stops, and then they try to find more money for investment and they can find it, and then they change their mind, and then they get under pressure by the US, and then they start thinking about AUKUS and the Quad, and then they say, no, maybe this is not a good idea, maybe we have to think about our Silk Road again. And meanwhile, what the Chinese do, they keep investing and doing business all the time, including the possibility that they would take over the port of Chabahar because the Indians were not investing enough or investing what they promised. So now the Indians finally woke up and said, no, let's invest in the International North-South Transportation Corridor because this opens for us not only the Chabahar way as our Silk Road through Afghanistan all the way to Central Asia, but it opens ourselves to more business with Iran and with Russia, bypassing the Suez Canal. So now the Indians are finally trying to get their act together. You never know with them, of course. It's always a very complicated issue. and so when I discuss this with some of my retired Indian diplomat friends, who most of them are realpolitik practitioners, they despair as well. They, Indians, also despair in terms of the process of making decisions at the top of the Modi government and all that. It's extremely complicated, but at least they're trying to get their act together. So there was today in St. Petersburg one panel fully dedicated to the International North-South Transportation Corridor, which is going to become an enormous alternative to the Suez Canal. And that explains, among other reasons, why nobody in mainstream Western media talks about the INSTC. They don't even know what it is, in fact. You won't see that in the Washington Post, Le Monde, etc. They don't know what it is, and they don't even know how to address it. They only know it's a threat, and it's another Russian-Iranian invention. So it's malign by definition. So this the evolution of the INSTC will be in parallel to the evolution of the Belt and Road Initiative. Parallel, not always intersecting. but sometimes intersecting in the case of Iran. Iran now they have a, I would say, golden, platinum, rare earth opportunity of increasing their business simultaneously with Russia, China, and Iran, the three BRICS. This is extremely important from an Iranian point of view. And also the fact that Iran now is part of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, where the three BRICS are already there. And Iran is going to be inevitably part of BRICS Plus, because the three BRICS are totally in favor of admitting Iran as a full-time BRICS member. So this, in a nutshell, for all of you, is how important the international north-south transportation corridor really is in terms of an extra alternative in terms of trade corridors and connectivity corridors, and uniting three absolutely major players in Eurasian integration. Two BRICS, Russia and India, and Iran.